I can geek out about this, so keep me on track here, Ben. The everything around us is designed, like literally everything, to your light switch, to your computer. Everything is designed, and behind that design, there's affordance that create experiences, right? And man, I've always been obsessed with that idea, and that you'll often just find me like exploring something and looking at it, just like diving deep. Like, why was it designed this way, and what is the odds or ends by which someone figured that out? And like in design school, right? They'll hand you a pair of scissors, right? It's like you can give a child a pair of scissors; they know how to pick it up. It's the way it's designed. It's the affordance of the handle, the way the handle's shaped, right? Like that end of it is super important. And I think when you layer that into technology, oh my goodness, the magnitude of which design plays an impact in everything is so important and has continually gone that route. You hear a lot of people talk about the consumerization of tech, right? In the sense that from a consumer experience side, be it social media and mobile phones, et cetera, like the proliferation of tech has just invaded our lives. So all the B2B tools are also getting much better and stronger in their design. And something that I've always just been obsessed with is this idea of, where does technology meet design to radically change a user experience? And how does that also change in a company or product's lifecycle? And I can give you a few examples. The best one, honestly, would probably be around Uber in so many different ways. So if you go back to like the origins or beginning in Uber, and you think about just how are we going to design this product, you have a problem that's pretty difficult in the sense that you have this idea where technology is giving you mobile phones. Those mobile phones now have pretty accurate GPS tracking, right? So you can basically commandeer or order a car to come pick you up. But you're fundamentally trying to retrain the habit that you've been taught your entire life of don't talk to strangers and definitely don't get in cars with strangers on the internet, right? Like the entire idea of design in that scenario is, it's less about the interface and what it looks like. You're trying to actually rewire some behavior, right? And so one of the things Uber did in that moment was essentially they taught those drivers that essentially if you could get a 5-star rating and it's someone's first trip, so this is the first time Ben's ordered an Uber, if Ben gives you a 5-star rating, we'll basically double your commissions, right? We'll pay you double because we need this experience to be so great for Ben, right? And that's how they thought about design. It wasn't necessarily what it looked like, but it was like, how do we actually craft that user experience? Now, go a little further than that, right? Like GPS tracking, a little funky, a little off, like starts to play in different odds and ends. How to order a car, the car would think I'm in like the Chicago River. That's not correct. I'm over here. So then you got all these coordination. So then they actually just focused on what is the actual technology or engineering behind the app, and how do we get that a lot closer to the customer experience to make sure that they have a more seamless, just odds and ends of the logistics of getting picked up and or dropped off at the right location. And they dove deep into that and really thought, innately around what does that look like in the app? How do you coach a driver around that? How do you give them the right tools? That became more about the interaction design, right? How to actually layer that experience into closer to what they're doing. And then eventually you started to see a bunch of competitors pop up, Lyft and et cetera. And that's where we were starting to think far more deeply about the brand design to say, hey, okay, how are we actually going to differentiate ourselves? There's purple mustaches out there now cruising around the streets. We want to be the, these are my words, not theirs, but like the more elite option, right? Like we want to be the higher class version of this. Let's get a more, clear, clean, sharp looking image focus, the thing that you can take to and from a business meeting, not be embarrassed about, right? They went way deeper into the brand design side. And that story, that arc just fascinates me. Like that in my career is what I've just been like, that is, design's been a part of every single piece of that, but the layer of design is much more nuanced or deeper than what you might think or see on the surface. But the investment in it was good at every single end, right? It didn't start with brand design because it didn't matter, right? I've talked to folks all the time, like what we're building is not the field of dreams. If we build it, they will not come, right? Like we fundamentally have to get folks over here and having a good experience. And then over time, we can invest in the different layers of design by which it will become a much better experience or much higher attuned in the character or quality, if you will.